So if you've been on the receiving end of years of manipulation and gaslighting at the hands of a toxic person, you are probably going to feel like you've lost a lot. You're going to feel like you've lost your sense of self. It's very likely that the person who is gaslighting and manipulating you would have taken steps to isolate you, and this would have involved getting to know the people that you know, or if you're in the same friend group and you are closer to certain people within the friend group, they would have gotten close to those people and started to ingratiate themselves in different ways so that those people would have felt like this person is being really friendly, this person can be trusted, and this toxic manipulator and gaslighter would have gained their loyalty. And this person would have done a lot of favors for these people that you thought were your friends or part of your community or close to you. Probably people that you thought, if something ever goes wrong or goes down, these are people that I can rely on. Those are the very people that the manipulator will target to isolate you. So you would have gone from having a partner, if you were experiencing the manipulation and gaslighting on behalf of a partner, you would have had a partner and you would have had a community of friends, you would have had a social group initially, and then that would have morphed as the manipulator would have started to exert control over you and try and maintain control over your reality and power over you and your options. And if you've experienced this, you'll know exactly what I'm referring to, because this is a playbook that has variations, but really the play is the same. So you might have gone from a whole group of people that you knew you could rely on, or considered you could rely on, and then you might have thought, oh, some of them don't seem to be that close to me, they seem to be very close to my partner. Okay, and that would have been just maybe a natural part of how things go. And then you might have had like one or two people left, and then you would have seen strange things, like you might have had plans with one of the friends, and then you find out that your partner has gone off on a whole different side quest with this person. You're like, you didn't invite me, you didn't tell me, like, what's going on here? So this is part of the play in which they start to take loyalty towards you and turn it towards themselves, because they want to have complete control of the narrative, and they want to ingratiate themselves to people and think, oh wow, he's so nice, he gave me these things, like he's always smiling, he's always, you know, so fun to be around. This is the play. This is the play. So I'll probably talk more about this another time, but eventually you will have cottoned on to all of this, and you might have tried to reach out to people and like say, hey, like things are not like what you think, you know, this person is not who they say they are. And you will have seen some like strange reactions from people. They won't be what you would expect. You would have thought, oh yeah, when I finally drop this bomb and I reach out to this person or that person, they'll be like, they'll support me, they'll be astounded, they'll care. They'll say, oh, like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, like, tell me, you know, what can I do, or how can I help? Literally, it happened to me. I told this person who I was so close to, I'll probably tell the story another time, but I won't go into it today. It was like, wow, this manipulator really got to everyone. That's when I knew that I have to just step away from everyone, because everyone has been compromised. Everyone is believing in the illusion, and I find that people are usually believing in the illusion because they have something to gain from it, or there's some kind of shadow that's feeding into why they are attracted to being around the manipulator. Like, the manipulator knows how to feed this person's ego, or knows how to model certain kinds of behavior that they know that this person wishes they had within themselves. So you find the manipulator might be like very charismatic and appear confident and like a go-getter in front of someone who struggles to feel like they're tapped into that aspect of themselves. So this is how they create these like fans for themselves, because the person is not really actually a fan of the manipulator. They're idolizing the aspect that the manipulator is modeling, which that person is craving within themselves, right? So if this person struggles to feel confident and charismatic, and then the manipulator exhibits that confidence and charisma, they're idolizing that. They're idolizing that. And then when you come along and say that that person is bad in some fashion, abusive, then it's like you're attacking the part of that person that they're trying to recover and reclaim for themselves. It's deep, it's complicated. But this is a situation in which so many of us unfortunately find ourselves. And what it leads to, as I said, you feel like your whole world has just been pulled out from under you. You don't have the person that you thought you had, the manipulator, because you too were being manipulated. Therefore, the person that you're with never existed. They were only showing you what you wanted to see. Just like the other people in your friend group are being shown what they want to see. So, I mean, can't think too harshly about people, but it is discouraging to see it happen. Yeah, so you'll lose your partner or family member, you'll lose your social group. You will feel alienated from going to the same places that you used to go, because you might see those people there, and like everyone is under such a delusion, and it's just not possible to break down the whole mad situation and everything that you've come to understand as you've had the opportunity to step away and like, oh my God, like everything will click into place, like why this didn't fit and why this didn't match up and this didn't make sense from years ago. And then you're like, okay, I was just being played. I was being played so hard the whole time. And you just, there's no way to explain this to people. And as I say, because the manipulator is feeding something that people are looking for inside themselves, they don't want to hear it anyway. You know, they've got their defenses up. And as I said, the manipulator is usually providing some value to them. It could be money, it could be other kinds of things that they want to acquire and partake in. It could be opportunities for getting ahead, like networking and quid pro quo, like I'll give you this if you give me that. It's a mess. It's an economy. And the manipulator is right at home in the economy because they built it around themselves, for themselves, to satisfy their needs. They're not needs. To satisfy their wants, their selfish, self-serving wants. They create an economy where people run around and just suck up to them and make them feel like they're special, when if people really knew what the hell was going on. But as I said, you know, it works. So if you manage to get yourself out of a situation like this, I applaud you. It is so hard. It is so painful. Everyone thinks you're just some crazy, jealous ex or something. They don't know the story. They don't know the past of this person. They don't know what this person has done, how they've emotionally manipulated you, the psychological abuse. So it's not for the faint of heart. If you get out, man, well done. But yeah, it can be a very difficult and dark place to be once you get away. It's much different, actually, than you think it will be, because it's not like other breakups. Because the abuse has gone much deeper. It's been much more calculated. It's a spiritual war, it's a psychological war. So there's a lot of work you have to do to start to get yourself anywhere close to being back. As I said, all of this makes you feel like you've lost your sense of self. Things feel very uncertain, shaky. You have lived within a false reality that was unstable and uncertain for so long, but it still felt like it was something somewhat cohesive, even if it was chaotic, which it would have been. But then when you take yourself out of it and you realize it was all lies, and you lose the people, the places, the activities, these are all these points of stability, even though it was chaotic stability, but stability a stability of a sort. even though it was false, it was creating a structure, a perception, a perceived stability for you. And now you don't have that. And because you were living within someone else's illusion who was trying to impose upon you an identity that didn't belong to you, and telling everyone around you through the subtlest means, it'll rarely ever be outright lies. It's just they'll say something and let people fill in the gaps, knowing that people are going to misconstrue it. But yeah, people around you don't know who you are. The manipulator has made you doubt yourself to such a hideous degree that you kind of feel like you've lost yourself when you depart from this toxic situation. I want to give you a couple of things that might be food for thought if you're going through this, or you know, just something that might help. Firstly, get a bird's eye view. You have been living within the cloud of this false, narrow reality, which has been overlorded by a tyrannical infant dictator, probably for years, or even a few months, I expect, could do damage, but it might be a few years. This is a very, very narrow view of the world. It's not even a real view of the world. It's fake, and it's small. There may have been like 5, 10, 20 people in your friend circle, maybe more, maybe less. There might have been the manipulative partner, some other manipulative people around. It's not a big group, right? Even if it was like 50 or 100 people that you've had to leave behind, that's nothing, right? Your hobbies, the places you used to go to eat, or for recreation, or for work, or whatever. How many places? 20, 10, 50? This is a very, very small world, the one that you've left behind. It's minuscule in the grand scheme of things. This is a realm with perhaps 8 billion people on it. Even if there aren't 8 billion of us, hell, 1 million, even if there are only 1 million, you're leaving behind 50 people, 10 places you used to frequent, a couple of hobbies. You see, it's the concept, it's the feeling, it's what you feel was lost. It was the world that was yours. Well, not yours, but you get what I mean. But it's so small. You have to be able to get to a point where you can try and open your mind enough to remember. Just remember how big the world is. How many people, other people there are. Other people that aren't exposed to this manipulator, who might treat you better, even a fraction better. I assure you, in 8 billion, there have to be some people that would treat you with more respect and support than you've recently experienced. There's other hobbies, there's other jobs, there's other places to go and be, there's other things that you can set your mind to. I know it doesn't feel like you want to do that. I know it feels like, why should I? I didn't do anything wrong. I get it. But it still pays to remember how big the world is. And the world could be your oyster. You could be that pearl if you remember that it's out there. Second thing, remember what it was like before. Not for everyone, but probably for most of the people that are watching this. This situation hasn't been going on your whole life. I know for some people they've had families where manipulation has been taking place, but for the rest of us, this is not our whole lives. There was a time before this. There were people before this. There were hobbies and careers, and there was an identity before this. There was a way you thought about yourself. There were stories. There was a story of you and your life and what it meant to be you. You thought different thoughts. You had different possessions. You looked different. And you were okay. Maybe you were great. Maybe things were good for you. Maybe you were happy. Maybe you had things you were engaged in and you had potentials. Maybe you can remember what that was like if you try, if you immerse yourself in it. You can. And if you're anything like me, you'll start to remember all these things you've forgotten about yourself because you've been so sunk in the mire of everything that's happened in recent times. Forgot the things that you used to enjoy. Forgot the books you used to read, the shows you wanted to watch. There were things you left behind, and possibly gladly, because you were embarking on a new adventure, right? But the adventure has turned out to be a horror story. So now there's the potential to go back and reclaim those things as you remember them, as you really sit in the remembrance of those things. You can recall the frequency of them. You can recall what it was to be you when you used to feel that way. This can be helpful. I hope you would consider trying it. Intellectually, it doesn't sound that impressive, but when you remember it and you go, oh, I forgot I used to do that. I loved that. I forgot. And you, suddenly it hits you and you go, oh, I'm not sure exactly who I am now, but I remember a me not so long ago, and I loved that. And if I can bring that me here now and feel the frequency again, it'll be enough. It'll be enough to fill this gaping hole, this abyss of emptiness and falsity that I found myself so unstable within. So see if you can do that. See if you can open some old boxes, get some books out, find some things you used to work on, whether it be art or some kind of passion, and start doing it again and reacquaint yourself with the frequency of an aspect of yourself that's just been put aside, and now it's just waiting for you to retrieve it. Now that you need it, it's there for you. Okay. Third thing. Open yourself up to possibilities that you might have written off before. So you're in a new area of space and time now. You're a different person, same but different. had experiences that you didn't have in the past. You know things about yourself that you didn't know before. You've learned things. You've had to develop skills just to frickin' survive. You may have become stronger, more resilient, maybe more compassionate, maybe more savvy. And as we go along in life, we often will consider options for ourselves, and then we'll put things in boxes like, oh yeah, maybe one day. Other things, yes. Now, yes. And yet another, we may go, no, I'm not into it. So you need to go back and look in those boxes where you said, yeah, maybe later, and no, I'm not into it. Because you may find that you will want to change your judgment on those topics. They may not have been right for the person that you were. That judgment of, no, I'm not into that, may have been the correct judgment for you at that time. You're a different person now. Therefore, you have different potentials. You have different needs. There are different things that could serve you in ways that you never anticipated that they would. For example, you may have considered martial arts to have been maybe too masculine a pursuit for a feminine person. So you said, okay, I'm not going to do that. But now at this point in your life, you have so much angst, you have so much that you need to release emotionally, that a really hardcore form of physical activity, which takes a lot of discipline and breathing and sort of has a fight aspect, may be absolutely what you need and absolutely perfect for you. And if you're still going along with the exact same judgments that you had in the past, which worked for you. So as I was saying before the video cut out, you may have some kind of hobby that you would have written off in the past because it wasn't going to suit the needs of the person that you were then. You're a different person now. There might be things that you always actually wanted to do, but you knew that you didn't have the skills, you didn't have maybe the confidence to do those things, but now after everything that you've been through, you're like, oh hell, if I can survive that, I got this. You know, let yourself discover yourself anew. See what you can glean from this. See how this has opened up your potentials. Because it's not just that there are things that you may need now for your healing and getting your sense of self back, but there's also things you may be able to achieve and do now, potentials that have opened up for you that never would have existed before, because despite all of the hurt and the pain and the terrible nature of the things you've been through, if you've been through what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know it's not a joke. I know it's not funny. But if you've been through this stuff, then you know. It takes a lot. It changes you. So if there's a gift here, if there's a gift for your potential in your future, if this experience has opened up something that could give back to you now, then hell, you get that. You get that. You get it. You have it. You enjoy it. You make it yours. You have the dark side. If there's a bright and a light and a brilliant and a powerful, then you go get it. Because for sure we feel so eclipsed by the horror of what has occurred. Because so much that we did not consent to, so much that had we understood what was happening, we would never have wanted that. We never would have said yes. We never would have said okay. The laughs and the smiles and the love that we gave, we never would have given it if we had known the basis under which it was being taken from us. Our free will consent was violated over and over and over again. And then when we tried to stick up for ourselves, we were made to feel that we were bad and dirty, annoying, not good enough. Yeah, not good enough. Not cool enough. You know, not chill enough. This is it. So, if you experienced all this dark, all this delusion, illusion, manipulation, gaslighting, lies, more lies, and then lies about those lies, you have been to some dark places, my friend. Dark out here in the world, dark within yourself. And you've taken it. Somehow you're still here. Somehow you're still standing. Somehow. Aren't you brilliant? Aren't you amazing? But yeah, you've carried the weight. You've carried the burden. That wasn't yours to bear. Nobody comes into a situation agreeing to the kind of things that would have happened. It's always without consent. It's always under a false premise. So, pendulum swings. You took, carried, held, alchemized, managed, broke under, struggled under the weight of the dark, the heavy. Now you let the pendulum swing back the other way. You take the abundance, you take the potential, you take the brightest of the bright, my bright ones, you take the light, you take the full potency, the sun, because you know you can carry it. You can't carry the full potency of the bright and the light just like that. Those who have seen the deep abyss down in the valley can also hold the bright light of the sun, can hold the truth, can hold the wisdom, the skill that whole hellish experience taught you, transmuted into something that will now be for you, to make you stronger, you more resilient. You better, brighter, bigger, wider, deeper, longer, further, higher. This is the pendulum swing. But you need to get yourself out of some boxes. Like I said, there are decisions that we make in our life about preferences, and this is for me, and this is what I like, and this is what I don't like, and oftentimes when things are going swimmingly, we just don't go back and reevaluate these boxes we put things in. If you want to give the opportunity for the pendulum to swing back, then you need to make it so that there aren't limitations on the ways in which it can swing back. Who knows, maybe something that you've written off as, oh, I'll never do that, is the exact thing that will be perfect for you now. But unless you bring that into your conscious awareness and consider, all you have to do is think of a thing that you may have written off in the past, and then in your mind go, oh, I wonder if maybe I could do that, or I wonder if I do now want to try that. Just ask the question of yourself, and that's it. It is indicating that you are allowing an answer. You have stopped asserting control over, and you've withdrawn a judgment on the particular topic. And that's enough to allow forces, synchronicities to give you an answer. And the answer may still be, nah. Cool. At least you've updated. At least you know something about this new version of yourself. The one that you're crafting and uncovering now, after all of this has occurred. And that you're not just assuming that you're the same as you once were, because we know you're not. So yes, 3 things. First, get a bird's eye view of the situation. Whatever has failed you, the people, the places, everything you've left behind is an extremely small aperture compared to the length, breadth and size of this realm that we live in. So if you just allow yourself to remember that, then it'll help widen your potential, widen the aperture of the sorts of things that you might consider for yourself and what could come for you in the future. Second point was, remember things that you used to love and do and enjoy. Open up your old boxes. Get out art supplies, or read some of the literature you used to like, watch the movies that you used to enjoy. Try and reacquaint yourself with the frequency of who you were before all this went down, and see if there's anything there that you want to bring with you into the future. It can help you feel connected to a part of yourself that you loved and was loving and that you're familiar with. It's a helpful bridge as you move forward. Third was, re-examine the boxes that you may have placed your preferences in. Some of these preferences are now outdated. You may actually want to pursue some of the things now that you'd written off in the past. You have changed, and therefore the potential and the things that are suitable for you now, the things that you might need to help you with your healing or moving forward, could be in those boxes, and you need to put a new label on them. You also have an abundance of potential waiting for you as the pendulum swings back. And you want to release any preconceived judgments on things that could now serve you, considering that you have different skills, interests, goals, priorities than you once did. I really hope that this has been valuable for you. I hope that you might try one or all of these things. They've helped me as I try and move forward in this crazy journey that so many of us find ourselves on. So if you enjoyed, if you found value here, please let me know in the comments. Do share any similar sorts of tips that you have for people who are trying to get back on their feet, trying to balance themselves and get themselves moving forward after tough times with manipulators and such like. And do like and subscribe for more.